All right, welcome in, guys.
Welcome in.
Welcome in. We got Bobby at the Garden. No Sherrod tonight. Crappy loss.
Crappy loss. Good
Crappy
game.
loss.
Fun game, I would say, for the most part. I mean, entertaining. I'm just retweeting right now the link to our show. No big deal. Celtics on CLNS. Everybody, if you're not following. Celtics CLNS, actually. That's the Twitter account.
There you go. Good job, Jimmy.
Hey, they're
Make sure
back
you
under five. Back
Make
under
sure you
500 again.
Back under 500. This was a loss. This was what I like to call a well-earned loss. They blew this game. They earned this loss in the last final minutes of the game. I thought that they played well enough to win, obviously. I like their compete tonight. And just let Embiid take over down the stretch. And that sloppy inbound. I mean, I'm not going to blame the loss on Marcus Smart's inbounds, obviously, because they were down 3 at the time. But, man, you had a chance to tie that game up there at the end. And I didn't like that pass. I saw Tatum kind of waiting for the ball, and you had almost 4 seconds to get a shot off. I would have probably just done that, instead of the Hail Mary.
Do the thing where you don't throw it into triple coverage.
Yeah,
Sure.
I would have probably not done that.
It was like a bad football play. Jeez.
Yeah.
Like Brady.
Story of the game really just comes down to the last few minutes. Celtics, it was an 18-6 run over the final 340 with a little over 4 minutes to go. Celtics take a 97-90 lead.
Think about that.
Put the hammer down, guys. It's a 7-point lead with 4 minutes to go. Put the hammer down.
Right. Nope. 7-point lead. You have your 2 best players in the game. There's no excuse.
And I know you've got problems and you're down bigs tonight.
No, but still, it's a disappointing loss. Like you said it best. Right, like having cancer at the end of the game obviously isn't ideal, but at the same time, you had a 7-point lead in the fourth quarter. Like I get it, Thibault's out there. I know Joel Embiid is, he's a tough down the stretch. He's that guy that can do what he did, but still, like just execution wise, it was just poor. And you look at it, an opportunity for someone like Peyton Pritchard, and it's like, come on, man! Like those are the games that Celtics usually win when the unsung hero comes up big down the stretch, a big 3. What was it? 3 straight possessions. He knocked down 3 shots. I mean, this is the kind of game we were looking for out of like a Neesmith or like a Romeo and Pritchard. You get it from Pritchard. You get it against a shorthanded Sixers team, and you don't capitalize, man. Like I don't know. That's kind of disappointing loss in my opinion. Because
that's kind of what I'm going to talk about.
Very winnable game.
Yeah.
Totally.
Pritchard didn't necessarily need to come out of that game.
No, I didn't hate that.
Yeah. Pritchard was great here.
Wait, what are you alluding to? Are you saying to get Cantor out of that lineup, or what do you mean?
I'm just saying. I'm just trying to figure out exactly where it happened. But to me,
when they took him out?
Where was it? Pritchard was phenomenal there in the fourth quarter.
Oh, you mean when they took him out, like down the stretch?
Yeah. What time did he come out there in the game?
I want to say under 2 minutes after that run.
He didn't finish the game for sure, right?
No, he didn't finish the game.
He didn't finish the game.
Yeah. He came back in late. I'm trying to remember where he went out. They were playing great with him in there.
Yeah, I think I almost got it. Hold on.
You're looking for the time he left the game?
Langford came in with under 2 minutes to go. That's when he came out.
Yeah. That was rough. Pritchard was great and was doing a good job there as the ball handler. But, yeah, they just friggin' fell asleep there on offense down the stretch. There was nothing doing anymore, kind of driving into the trees a little bit. Just kind of ugly execution. I know people are saying hurt and this and that. And like, oh, if this guy played. I mean, the Sixers played with like 6 guys, like it was, it's pretty ugly. It's a pretty ugly game for both sides. Everyone's shorthanded down the stretch here. But Pritchard came out with 2 minutes left. I kind of questioned that. I was trying to remember the exact time. I thought it was a little bit earlier than that.
Yeah, they were going defense. I can see what
I
was
get
trying
it.
to do.
I get it. I thought it was earlier. I thought it coincided more with the Sixers run a little earlier.
No, it was right under the 2 minute mark because I was just yeah. It was a tough spot. You want to go defense there, especially against this team. Danny Green, I mean, you got to give him credit. That was a huge 3. Like that one.
I know, but we talk about this. Like defense is good, but you're going to make defensive substitutions and then not play good defense and give up 18 points in the final 3.5 minutes, then that was a bust of a substitution or whatever lineups you decided to play there. And Jimmy and I go over this over and over and over again, particularly with Bobby. Like, offense and defense are the same thing in the sense that good offense is the same thing as good defense because it's all points. You know, like you give up 2 points, you prevent 2 points. Like not scoring is bad. It's the same thing as giving up baskets. So like, when you just stop scoring, it's hard to win. You know, you're just standing still and the other team just runs by you.
And then
you're looking at your defensive lineup and you go and they give up an 18-6 run, you know? Oh God, it kills me.
Especially against these guys. Like, these are the ones that'll come up with huge stops down the stretch when they need it. That's exactly what happened. Like, man, the Diebold play, Danny Green, you know, like they can score in a hurry. And obviously they did, but I don't know. You look at the way the Celtics executed down the stretch offensively, and it's just like they were already shell shocked from what happened. It was almost like I couldn't see them executing, you know, especially when you needed it to be you needed that last play down the stretch, and then all of a sudden it's a 4-point game, 2-possession game, and you just thought they were defeated with no timeouts.
Yeah.
30 from Brown tonight. Is that a real 30, John? Or are you still disappointed in
No. He's just sloppy. I mean, he still can do things. I mean, the shot started falling a little bit more in the second half. He's still going to the basket. The handle is like really, really, really sloppy right now. And he's doing that thing where he kind of drives into nowhere and hopes for the best. And just kind of jumps, and then either there's a person in his way, or he scores, or he tries to turn it, or he turns it over. You know, he's definitely got a few of those things. So I'm not down. I mean, without him, they would have been doomed tonight. They needed his offense.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's good to see him. It's good to see him being more aggressive. I mean, I'm always looking to see if he's like favoring the hamstring or anything. I don't really see that out there. I mean, I know like you said, the ball handling and some sloppiness, but that's kind of always been part of his game. I mean, he's never been I know he's become a much better ball handler than he was when he entered the NBA. But it's never been a strong part of his game. So maybe that's something that's going to come back again at another point. But I don't know. To me, it comes down to execution down the stretch and lack of execution. You're at home. I don't care how sure-handed you are. You've got Tatum and Brown out there, and you have a 7-point lead. Like you gotta close that one out. You just have to figure out a way to close that one out.
Yeah,
against Bobby, a rival.
Bobby, you're in there. We were lamenting.
Hey, Bobby.
Hello. What do you got, kiddo? What's your first take?
Yeah,
it's gonna be Enes Kanter, right?
That was Ime's takeaway. You hear slow rotations, and that's sort of pointing toward the big man there. They gave up a lot of shots off of Embiid, though. The extra pressure coming in, the Sixers swung the ball around. You can't be too mad at that. In fact, Ime, too, said he thought they guarded Embiid okay for most of this game, and those were some really tough shots he hit in crunch time there, 40 minutes into this game. So I'm not terribly down on this loss. I thought the defense was good for most of the game. I thought the offense was pretty good for 3.5 quarters, despite missing a ton of shots. The ball was whipping around. Tatum had a good assist game. Sloppy. The turnovers were certainly there, and I know you're going to get on Brown, John. But listen, it's process over results with these two guys right now, and we're really just trying to get a week or two into this first experiment with Brown on the ball in crunch time, making more plays. I like that they gave him that opportunity in a game like this, shorthanded, just kind of a – I don't want to call it a throwaway game, but just a wacky one where both teams are missing a bunch of guys.
What?
Listen, you're coming in here
both lead in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth.
So would you rather Brown just never get that opportunity to run the offense down the stretch there? Like I think that's a good opportunity that they gave him. It didn't work, but you're seeing the highs and lows right now, and I'm liking a lot of the stuff Brown's doing on the ball the last week or two here. Listen, it's not high level stuff. I'm not saying he's Chris Paul, but if they have a goal to make him more of a playmaker, they have to give him the opportunity to do it, and they did here tonight.
I don't need Jaylen Brown to be the primary ball handler playmaker.
Yeah,
why are we doing this thing where
why do we need that? I don't know.
And we try to completely
change
I think what Bobby's
trying to say.
Kemba Walker.
No, I think what Bob's trying to say was the way that they were defending Tatum. It made things hard for him, right? And what do you have, like 5 turnovers in this one? You know,
he had 6, yeah,
6, right? So I can see where you're coming with that. Like I thought it freed up Jalen a lot for him to drop a quiet 30, as Jimmy was alluding to earlier. You know?
Yeah, and a lot of times on the ball, he's going to be looking for his own shot, which is fine.
Right.
It got a little messy there. That last turnover, I think it was a 1-possession game at that point where he slid his foot on the travel. That one was really rough. That was a killer. The other one, he just kind of got stripped. The game was getting away at that point. So both of them a little messy on the ball. I thought they got guys involved, though, throughout most of this one. Both of them had decent scoring games against a tough defensive combo with Thibault and Embiid in the middle, 4 blocks. This is a team you really can't get downhill against. So listen, I'm not. It was a tough collapse for sure. You had a pretty commanding lead late in this one, but the best player on the floor came out and hit 3 ginormous shots and sunk a bunch of free throws just going at your guy inside down the stretch. There's really not much you could have done about that. Maybe convert more on the offensive end, but it still would have been close down the stretch.
Right.
I think we lost.
What about Bobby? What about your guy Pritchard not getting the call late in the game?
Which one was that?
No, he means the fact that they didn't.
They sat him. Oh yeah. I mean, that's been a thing with Ime. He's pretty rigid with the rotations. I thought Bruno showed some good stuff early in this game too.
Yeah,
he never really gave him another chance.
I forgot about Bruno. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Those were 2 guys that
and that
gave
was talking Bruno.
That gave you some real solid minutes off the bench in this
57?
one. Listen, like, didn't they do that with Josh Richardson last game? Like, he got going, you insert him in the rotation down the stretch there and let him keep rolling. And Pritchard was red hot, not only on offense to start the fourth quarter, hit those 2 big shots in the lane, dueling with Curry there, but he forced 4 turnovers on Joel Embiid. Help defense, passing lane. He was everywhere.
Bobby, if it isn't Joel Embiid, then maybe you see Bruno out there for a couple possessions.
No, I'm not worried about Bruno. I'm talking about Pritchard. Pritchard should have stayed in the game.
Pritchard should have stayed in the game. Was my takeaway, Bobby. I was curious if you were going to go there. That's why I was asking.
Well, I pulled it out of him.
Yeah. See, I can take it or leave it with that one, because at the end of the day, it was Embiid that you had to slow down. Or
he was the catalyst, though. He was doing everything for you at that time.
I think you need to lock down defensively, but at the same time,
with who? Cantor?
But that's the thing. I'm not going to trot out. Well, no, I thought what Bobby was trying to say was that with Bruno, that he had 3 consecutive stops, and then he was gone. We didn't see him at all in the second half. So if it's not someone, if it's not Joel Embiid, then maybe you see Bruno out there a little bit, but not
the rotations.
Not the 2 minute, not the 2 minute mark.
The rotations were too rigid for a night where you really don't know what you had at all. Now, I'm not saying they should have went to Justin Jackson.
No, you got to play the hot hand. You got to play the hot hand.
You saw some really good stuff from Pritchard, and he held his own defensively. The defense was more impressive than the offense, which was a reason more than any other to keep rolling with that guy. Schroeder was awful in this one. I know he was a game-time decision, but he was just a complete no-show. You should have funneled more of those minutes to Pritchard the way it was going. And right now,
that was it. Schroeder's not right. He looks banged up. He doesn't look himself.
Yeah, but when Pritchard was going, you didn't
great.
See Schroeder anymore, though. So.
You didn't. Yeah.
That's true. You saw a mix of Langford, Nesmith midway through the fourth quarter. They were okay. I thought overall the young guys gave you some good stuff in this one, and that was headlined by Pritchard. I just wish he could have found his way out there in crunch time, especially as a ball handler. This is where I think they've missed Pritchard so much. Is he a great facilitator, awesome passer? Certainly, he cannot run the pick and roll yet at this point in his career, but he's a good ball handler. He secures the rock on the ball and spreads it around to guys. I mean, listen, that big 3 by Brown, I think was the last big shot that the Celtics made in this game. Tatum going behind the back, Pritchard making the extra pass to Brown in that left corner. Pritchard's a ball mover. He gets the ball to different spots on the floor and finds guys from there. And I thought that's where he helped you most early last season. And they've missed it so much throughout much of this year, not having him out there, because it's the opposite of Schroeder, right? Schroeder's dribbling around, looking for his shot. Pritchard's just going to pop the ball, get in the lane, and just pass it to a guy. And he just constantly keeps the ball moving.
Whatever it was you got out of Pritchard last year, you were seeing the best of it tonight, And so that's what bugs me. And I know it's only 2 minutes, and at that point it was a 2-point game. I just don't get it. And again, Bobby, I didn't take a shot at you. I might have taken a shot at you.
Yeah,
it was a jab.
Maybe. Not really, but I'd say you and I talk about this all the time. He can't play defense. I'm like, I don't care if he can play offense. It's the same thing. Like, see, you score 4 more points there down the stretch, or you keep them from getting bucket. Like, it's the same thing as keeping people from getting buckets. I don't know what was gained with Romeo in there for Pritchard at that 2-minute mark, and then putting Marcus back on the ball. Like, it just didn't make sense there because Pritchard was a catalyst for your offense at that time, and he wasn't killing you. It's not like it's not an Isaiah Thomas situation that they're hunting him on defense,
No, and you could hide him so easily. The Sixers
He's much easier to hide. Yeah.
Sixers had 3 scorers in this one. You only had to worry about 3 guys.
Bingo.
So
he can float the whole game long.
Put him on Thibault, yeah.
It didn't matter. You didn't have to worry unless they started posting up. But I mean, again, that's about it.
They tried to post him up, and Pritchard forced the turnover in that spot.
Yep.
Embiid threw the ball out of bounds, and they won the challenge. I thought the officiating stunk in this one. That wasn't the story of the game, but I thought that killed the Celtics in many ways in this one. Embiid hopping in the lane would have been his 5th turnover to start the 4th there. The offensive foul on Tatum was crap against Thibault there. They called the same one defensive against Thibault a few minutes later with Smart there. Thinking of the Neesmith charge in the lane that got called against him on the floater that he hit. That Bruno chase down block in transition.
Oh, that sequence from Bruno. The back-to-backs.
He didn't even argue that.
No contact at all. And then,
I was surprised he didn't make a bigger stink about that.
Schroeder made a good block on Curry inside. So you had 6-7 really bad calls go against you in this one. First game all year, I felt like you really got killed in that regard. Wasn't the reason they lost, but it was one of them. So listen, I'm just not completely down on this loss. I think the team's still making strides offensively. Defensively, they were great for stretches of this one. You just had a MVP level performance from Embiid. I thought that was the only difference.
We needed more PP. The original PP had to play more.
Yeah,
that's my nickname for him. I'm going to call him PP.
No, it's the P. It's the Boston Pea Party.
That was always your
name. I forgot about that one, Jimmy.
The Boston Pea Party is great. The Peep Show.
Yeah, man. We got a flash of it tonight.
Yeah.
I'm not completely agreeing with Bobby because I just can't get over the fact that they blew this game. So I'm not gonna pump their tires and say silver lining and all this stuff. Bottom line is you get Tatum and Brown out there. They should win that game. You got to figure out a way to. Embiid's gonna do his thing, but it's the Curry, it's the Ty.
I agree there. Those guys.
It's everybody else. It's Thibault. It's or Thibault. It's what's his name there? I always blank on his name.
Danny Green.
No, not Danny Green. And hold on.
There's only so many guys.
Harris.
Macy.
Harris had 25 points tonight.
Yeah,
those are the guys you have to limit. And they didn't.
Yeah, I thought the rotations were so bad defensively off of Embiid when they did show doubles, and they didn't even slow Embiid all that much with those. You have to do it. There's no way around it. You just needed more active guys in the lane to be able to get out on guys. And listen, we talked about this when you popped off for a second, John. They could have used a little more Bruno, right? Just a little bit more.
I'm all for it. I got no problem. I for real.
After the whole Rob thing, he's in.
I'm on the Bruno train. I've loved everything I've seen from Bruno. You're not talking about playing this guy 25 minutes a game. I'm just simply saying
in a couple of months you'll be saying that.
No, but the energy he brings is unreal. They
didn't even give him a chance against Embiid. They shadowed Embiid.
And you're shorthanded. Yeah, exactly. You're shorthanded at the big position. I can't believe throughout the season we haven't seen a minute or two from him here and there. I'm really surprised by it.
Well,
he's not the savior,
No, but you gave 40 minutes to freedom. You give 40 minutes to freedom tonight. This is a guy that couldn't even find 1 minute for the first 15 games or whatever it was, and now he's getting
so
40.
Bad too.
Now he's getting 40 minutes, and a guy like Fernando can't get 10.
This is the story of.
And he's playing well out there. Listen.
This is the story of
too much freedom, and I'm a freedom guy. Even I know that was a little too much freedom.
I thought Jimmy got dropped the line. I'm all for freedom, but
there's being free and then there's being freedom.
But there's a cost to freedom. I mean, him being
that's
out
8
there.
minutes away from playing the whole damn game.
I can't do these puns. I can't call him this.
Freedom isn't free. Freedom isn't free.
I cannot play this game with this.
Freedom isn't free.
Come on, John. It's a gang full of writers here.
This was a gift for announcers. This name change. He was awful.
The price of free. The Celtics paid the price of freedom tonight.
Yeah.
Like it's just headline writers. Like that. Yeah. This stuff's almost too easy.
If you missed the game-winning free throw, that would have been the headline.
He did.
The price of freedom.
Not the game-winning one.
Yeah, he missed a huge one down the stretch.
Some big ones.
Listen, I think he defends Ennis. I think he defends Embiid okay. He keeps a body in front of him. He really bumps him. You see Embiid doesn't like going inside and posting him up at all. He's doing everything in a face-up position against him. So, like, you like putting Embiid in that spot. He just happened to beat you from it. All the other areas, though, still dropping offensive rebounds, throwing a pass right to Philly the other way, missing free throws.
The Butterfingers kill me today.
The Butterfingers in the lane. Tatum threw a perfect pass to him.
Yeah,
but his rebounding's excellent. But you're right. He's just
they were giving up offensive boards.
He has to be able to collect the ball, make those little putbacks, make those little hooks, the occasional post up when he has a mismatch down there.
You know who they could have used
You
tonight?
were counting on that more regularly in his first tour with Boston. You know, he'd come in. How many times did he come in and get 8 straight points? And you'd be like, oh, God.
You're going to love this one. Yeah. You're going to love this one. You know who they could have used tonight?
Cornette.
Luke Cornette.
No.
He's in Cleveland.
What time? 21 minutes in, we got our Cornette.
That is not your answer for Joel Embiid.
He's in Cleveland with Taco, and you didn't have a second or
What
even third big man here tonight.
Think about how depleted Cleveland must be. They've got like 6-7 footers on their roster, and they had to pull Cornette out of Maine.
Cornette was going ham in Maine, man.
This G League free for all.
Yeah, he was doing pretty well, man.
Could you imagine, John, in baseball, just all the different teams picking from each other's minor leagues?
Give me that guy.
Yeah,
it is
like
weird.
so much for a minor league system in the NBA. It's just a free for all.
Yeah,
they're calling someone in Vegas right now and saying, "Who can you grab out of the locker room?"
Again, you're gonna look at
it needs to be more of a AAA system. I agree. I mean, what's the point of having these? You're supposed to have players come up.
The whole Maine Celtics just got
right. They're supposed to learn like the similar style as the team that they're the affiliate of. And then they all just get picked dry. Now you have to piece together a whole new roster.
I feel like Ime sort of like took a shot out there before the pregame.
Remember, I guarantee.
Everyone's getting snatched up. You know, I couldn't even get one of the guys that.
Well, use it or lose it, though, man. I'm not against these guys getting jobs. You can't just bury a guy down there.
That's the thing. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the players are fine with it because they don't give a shit if they play with the Celtics or whoever. They just want to get to the NBA.
Yeah.
It's a big opportunity for those guys. $500K, I think, for signing with a team for 10 days during the stretch. Isaiah and the like. It's just, I guaranteed when the Celtics signed Cornette. Remember, I said it was a great move. What was the word I used exactly?
I don't know. It's embarrassing.
It was a steal.
Probably way over exaggerating.
I think I called it a steal because
ginormous. Probably.
No, I called it a steal.
Robbery, something like that.
Because I guaranteed at that time that he would find his way to play one game with the Celtics, just one. And this was the opportunity, but they lost him to Cleveland. I don't know what they were doing. They saw him play last year with the Celtics, and he played well. It's tough. They probably tried and failed, and there were probably more minutes for him in Cleveland or whatever. But I just don't like how that system was set up for this year. Give the affiliate team first priority on these guys.
Yeah, there should be like a bidding system. The Celtics should get right of first refusal, you know?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Payne just finished up at the podium.
Who did?
Pritchard?
Payne Pritchard. Not Gary Payne. Payne Pritchard.
Oh, I love Gary
Payne. Missed a LinkedIn transition? Damn.
Talking about jobs and games. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, we can do it now.
Oh, yeah.
Boston Sports Beat.
We could. I'm going to do this instead.
You gotta move that comment, bro.
I know.
Johnny's got to go. Man.
I got Brockton Wi-Fi right now.
I'm on the phone Wi-Fi here.
Let me know if you need a hand, man.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about calm. We're pretty calm. When's the next game?
Wednesday.
We're very calm here.
Don't play what I think.
Very calm. I'm not going to play it right now. I'm not going to play it.
Wednesday is home.
Yep, Wednesday is Cleveland.
Home.
You're versing the top 3 team in the NBA.
So
right
you
now
will see Cornet on Wednesday.
It's gonna be tough.
Oh, good call. Taco and Cornet revenge game.
You will see Cornet. Bobby's going to definitely be at that game. He's going to be in the Cavs locker room, but he's going to be at that game.
Yeah. Oh my God, the Cornet reunion. But anyway, let you guys know about Calm. Go to calm.com/garden. Receive 40% off. #1 sleep and meditation app. You got forests, you got music, you got Jimmy Toscano, kind of grooving to this kind of stuff every single night.
I will say this:
he's gonna do his own ASMR. If you,
I'm gonna do one. Yeah, it'll put you guys to sleep very quickly. I am huge into
the special mic
stories now. I'm a big bedtime story guy. Hand up, I'll say it. I never knew I would be. I fire up a story every night. Some of them are informational. Some of them are completely made up out of the blue. Either way, I'm falling asleep to it, and I would suggest it. 40% off. calm.com/garden. Especially after this game started late, so now the show's going to go late. I'm going to need to get to sleep even faster than I normally try to so I can get up in the morning. calm.com/garden. 40% off. I don't know how long this deal is going to last, folks. I can't tell you. It could be gone tomorrow. So, actually, that's not true. I think they're here all week, but who knows? I mean, really, who knows? Great little last-second Christmas gift. Your significant other would really appreciate something like that, you know? Quick last-second gift. You don't have to worry about shipping. You're scrambling for a last-second gift, and you're trying to think of something thoughtful. There you go.
Yeah, I love the sense of urgency. There you go, Jimmy.
Check it out. Calm.com. It's limited time only. One of these days, that link's just going to expire, and you're going to be like, oh, man, I missed my shot. I missed my 40%, and we can't give it back to you.
DMing me.
Yeah, give it a try.
Guys, give it a try.
Give it a try.
Help support our
premium
sponsors, okay?
subscription, guys. You don't even know what goes on behind the premium paywall.
Help us help you. The more you support our sponsors, the more Bobby Manning you get, okay?
Yeah.
Josue,
I got a question.
Few premium subscriptions, but I bet you .com is his favorite one.
I gotta stop making that joke. I cringed the first time. I wasn't gonna let it.
I keep using it, hoping that somebody will laugh, dude. Somebody in the comments.
That's more of a
John's laughing.
Yeah, you got it on the last try.
That's great. when Bobby calls you out. That's it.
I know, right? That's it.
That's the last time.
I have a question fresh from last year for you guys. I actually mentioned it a week or two ago.
Good, a question from last year.
I'm going to bring it up again this year. Does Jason Tatum need a night off? Are they running him too hard into the ground? Is he eating up too many minutes for this group?
Stop it.
Do you know where he ranks?
Supposed to do.
You know where he ranks in the league in minutes now?
Where?
3rd.
Good. He's young. He's only 19. Yes. Let him play.
Behind LeBron and who else?
He's behind Miles Bridges and Russell Westbrook. Gordon Hayward.
Westbrook is playing that many minutes. That's crazy.
I think Ime brought it up for a reason before the game, talking about when he was asked about him winning Player of the Week. He's like, hey, this is what I like. I sent him a text message saying that, and this is Ime Udoka. You know, he doesn't usually share stuff like this, right? He's always the tough guy. So I think it speaks volumes for how he feels about his progression up until this point. And I think playing all these minutes has a lot to do with it. So I like it.
What I would say is, if he wants to rest a little bit, ride the bike less. You know,
you hate the bike. I actually walked by the bike coming off the court with Sherrod yesterday. I was able to give it a good inspection.
The bike that he's never.
If you were a better team and you had a better record and you could afford to rest a guy on a night where you think you got a good chance of winning, I'd be a lot more for it. But at what point are you trying to win some games and get a little momentum going? You know,
that's the
problem. I don't want to run Tatum to the ground. I don't think anybody does. But someone's gonna play. I mean, someone's gonna score.
That's a reward.
Isn't that what we said last year too? Though we were like, oh, they're 500. You can't rest these guys, and then they just fell apart by the end of the year. You saw with Pritchard, Neesmith a little bit. That wasn't
why they fell apart.
Yeah.
Well, Brown did. It wasn't Tatum. It was Brown.
Brown. Yeah, he got hurt.
So you can sneak in some of these lower depth rotation guys. in for games for extended stretches, and probably still compete, probably survive.
Tatum needs a rest, but they're the same trap as last year. They're just not good enough, and they have too many guys out to ever risk sitting him. Or and that's the problem.
Or just sit them all, punt a game if you really want, I guess.
They had 4 days off last week, Bobby, and
it's not now. It's not now, but for sure. I mean, you cannot do it now, but it's just something to keep an eye on because he is high on that list. 4th, Gordon Hayward, big feather in Gordon's cap, logging heavy minutes this year.
Yep.
Good. He's got to make up for a lot of lost minutes.
Yeah.
Nobody's probably played less over the last 4 years. So
again, what's amazing is just going back
Gordon can't do shit, huh?
Pre-Celtics, Hayward was playing 80 and 76 and 76 and in the 70s all the way through his career, and it's so weird that this just happened. He arrived in Boston.
Imagine if he stayed with the Jazz.
Yeah.
With everything that ended up happening there, Mitchell, Gobert reaching DP Player of the Year status. I mean, they might have won a title. Who knows?
Right. Yeah.
Celtics don't have a back-to-back until January 6th, so they don't. It's not like their schedule is not crazy.
That's good. They got 2 days. They got 2 days off later this week too.
Yeah.
Plus, this 5-game homestand was this helps someone like Tatum, So
15 to 20 at home. Yeah.
And he's balling out. Player of the week. I don't know. I say you ride the wave.
They have to, especially right now.
You can give them off I'm thinking maybe how about this January 2nd against the Magic? You play the 31st, the 2nd, and the 5th. So you could give them the 2nd off, and that would give them a nice 4 or 5 days, and then you hope you can beat the Magic. How about that, Bobby? Would that satisfy you?
I'd be satisfied.
I would be okay with that.
So it was just something I caught during the game as he was logging the heavy minutes tonight. And credit to Embiid, too. I didn't think he'd make it 40. I was texting you guys. I was like, oh, geez, here he goes again, stalling in the 30, 40-minute range. But
when he gets to the free throw line that many times,
Right. He had a massive shot, though, that little dagger shot.
Why was Tatum so bad tonight?
That's why I was thinking minutes.
No, but why? I mean, you think it's just tired?
The third game in 4 nights of 40 minutes?
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of that, but I also think it was the Phillies' defense, the way they were playing, the way they were switching off him. And I thought he did a good job of adapting and being more of or trying to be a better playmaker, but also making defensive stops. I mean, he was leading a full court press for a little bit there, I thought that
he was really good defensively tonight.
That resonated, it made everyone kind of stick to the plan on defense, but that wasn't the plan in the fourth quarter. We saw a different team on defense.
Yeah. Nobody really shot well in the Celtics tonight. Again, Schroeder just invisible. With each passing day, I'm starting to wonder what can we get for this guy.
I think he's really banged up. He was very, very bad.
Yeah, he just came off. He just came off of.
He just doesn't look. He doesn't look himself at all.
But my
not making excuses for him. He's obviously a flawed player at his best. He seems to be lacking a little bit of jump, a little bit of burst. He just seems off.
Yeah, I'm just out on him at this point. I want to see a deal in the near future here. Richardson rolling. What a killer to see him go back in COVID protocol. You probably win this game
for the third time in 11 months.
Yeah, and not to mention
and the second time in friggin' 5 days, basically.
The Celtics avoided the bombshell.
I can't figure out what the hell's going on.
The bombshell that we predicted, the Boston vaccine mandate.
They did avoid
barely skirted around the Celtics. That would have been the final bomb on their season, losing a couple of guys to that.
And as it was written today,
B-Rob.
Again, multiple Celtics players. If people start locking it down, in different cities, and it becomes a thing, they don't have a Toronto game until April. But
I don't think it's going to happen now because I think Boston just pretty much they just became the first city to allow it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now the other cities are going to let these guys skirt around the rules that us peasants have to follow.
Well, I get it to a degree. It's an entire industry that doesn't survive if the players don't play, which means all the vendors, everybody in the stadium, the fans, all of that stuff, it all shuts down. Can you run a restaurant without a single waiter? Yeah. What
do you mean it all shuts down? What shuts down?
Meaning if the players can't play,
they can play. They can play.
No, if Boston had said if stadium started disallowing unvaccinated,
that's the catch-22 though, because that's what I'm thinking. Like not everybody's gonna pull the Kyrie, right? Like most guys would look at.
No,
it and
I
say,
think most people would have done it.
Or am I just gonna do it?
Most people would have done it, but it would have been interesting to see.
Probably would have helped the Celtics in some way if they did go ahead and do that. If 7 cases is a killer here, especially the G League guys that maybe could have helped you, like Hauser and.
It's a mess, and that's a bummer because you didn't get to see Hauser, for example.
Oh, you would have seen a ton of them.
What we have gotten to see, and I want to get hit it a little bit, is we've now gotten to see a little bit more Nesmith, and again, it's kind of,
all over the place.
It's all over the place, man. And I know we need to see sustained minutes, but like
he did make his
dunk.
He made his play of the year on that dunk.
He did, but he can't shoot. He can't do the thing he's supposed to do. He can't do it. And people keep saying to me, because I keep complaining about it on Twitter and on the show, and all everyone says is, he can't shoot, John. Stop waiting for him to be a shooter. Like, are we wrong? Is he?
If that's the case, let him go.
If he's
what else is he bringing you?
Shooter can't shoot. That's tough. Yeah.
Yeah, but now I got, some people are like, no, he's more of a slasher, and Hans it says here, and I know he's
slasher.
He's not. He can't dribble.
But it kind of reminds me what. Not to say that these two are on the same.
I've never seen him really.
Jaylen Brown's rookie season, right? That was the MO, right? Oh well, you're trying to make him a shooter. He's not really a shooter. He's more of a slasher, but he worked on it, right? And Nesmith is someone that had way better 3-point shooting numbers coming into the league than
that's the difference.
Brown did. I mean. Again, not to compare the two, but you would expect him by year 2 or year 2.5 or so for something to click here. We knew the injuries coming in. There were setbacks, obviously, his rookie season. But, yeah, I mean, we're still waiting for it to all click. I don't know.
Well, the difference is that was the knock on Jaylen Brown going into the NBA is that he wasn't a shooter. It was the praise on Nesmith was that he was a shooter. So that's the troubling part of this whole thing. Now, I don't think he's getting enough opportunity, maybe is the word, or minutes or shots to really prove himself or get into any sort of comfortability out there. I honestly loved the dunk tonight. I know it's just a dunk and can't really miss a dunk, but like it showed me that he had some, he was aggressive, he a little like confident. He turned the corner there and just kind of had a nice little burst to the rim. And then he had another nice little like drive sort of, what would you call that? A little like step back fadeaway kind of thing.
Yeah.
To the, he around the free throw line, which was nice. But yeah, as far as your sharpshooter 3-pointer guy from the corner, no, he's definitely not that right now.
Slow release.
Yeah.
Slow
release. That open shot so many times though. That's the thing.
Yeah, and I like how he allows you to play out there, even if he just takes a guy to the corner one more step than Schroeder would. I like the idea of having 3 wings on the court at all times.
At what point do you leave him alone though?
It depends, I think there's a difference between him and Horford. Horford hasn't drawn much spacing on the floor out there. I just, from what I'm seeing in terms of looking at these plays afterward, he just gives you a little bit more spacing out there still right now. And you're right, they could get away from him if he keeps missing.
He's 23% from 3 this year. And at a certain point, you're like, we want him to shoot.
No, and I even saw guys in the lane on Richardson who's shooting 40% from 3 this year. So there isn't a real level of respect to Boston shooters across the board here. Nobody is getting face guarded off the ball for the Celtics.
Jimmy, you're getting a little close here, buddy.
Sorry, I was looking at my phone for a second. Oh my God. Shots fired over there?
Gunshots.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
I was looking at my fantasy team. So
go inside.
You ever see that? Right. You ever see that impression that, what's his name? I'm going to mess it up. The Saturday Night Live guy used to do of the blind governor when he just kind of walk up into the screen. That's kind of what Jimmy looked like there. No.
I didn't see that one. Missed that skit.
What's his name? Fred Armisen used to do it.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Fred Armisen's a funny dude.
He is a funny dude.
Funnier than anyone else on the show right now.
Oh, well, he's not on the show right now.
No, I know. I said he's funnier than everyone else on the show right now.
Yeah.
Except maybe Keenan Thompson.
No, that friggin' Bowen Yang is friggin' hilarious.
No, there actually are some funny people on that show.
That guy's a star.
I don't know if I like how this is like 13 cast members, I think it's a little too much.
I actually do agree. There are some funny guys in the show now.
Yeah.
Not all the skits hit, but the comedians themselves are kind of funny.
Josue's our comedy guy. He's got well, John too. Those two got the finger on the comedy game right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
They're really
I'm always
they're
looking
great
for
comics, but it's just too many of them. I don't know, but it's tough to let people go. It's like I don't know.
Can we do a
strength in numbers, Josue?
John's not gonna love this. Can we do a minute on the guy we've talked way too much about this year already, Ben Simmons? Not out there against
you want, Bobby. It's your nickel.
What do you got, Bob?
So Doc was talking about him pregame. I got to pull up the quote exactly here, but he's been asked repeatedly throughout the year about the situation, of course, what they're going to do with him. He points to Daryl Morey most of the time, but today Doc finally kind of made a call for help there. You see the glaring holes that he leaves us, was the exact quote Doc gave pregame. And in full, we don't know what we are yet. Ben hasn't played in a game. You can see the glaring holes that he leaves us. And, he may or may not play. If he does, great. If he doesn't, then whoever we can get to help us. I've been saying this all year. Make a deal. I mean, this team, look at Embiid. How long is he going to play like this? And they're just allowing a $30 million guy to sit at home. I feel like something's going to break on that soon. You got the meetings going on out in Vegas. You got the coach now making a more direct call for something to happen there. Obviously, most of the league became trade eligible last week. Make a deal. Just get something. Go get Jeremy Grant. Go get DeJounte Murray. One of these guys that can help you right now.
Those Doc comments were interesting because that was the first time you heard someone say something like Simmons or whatever we get for him. When that happens, kind of like, is anyone listening? He was very clear.
I'd be furious if I was Doc. Like, come on, we're at 500 here. We're floating around the middle. We might land in the play-in if we slip up or get hurt here.
Yeah, but Doc, I don't know. I think as someone who has that background, who's been in that position before, I think he's been patient enough. And I honestly, I don't fault him for being too patient. I guess what I'm trying to say, because at the end of the day, this is trading season. At the end of the day, guys' contracts, you can't really make the best move, the absolute best move you can make if other teams are unwilling or unable to put certain guys on the table. So I think this is just about the season where, okay, time's up here. You got the next couple of weeks here to figure things out. You don't want to wait until you're up against the trade deadline. But I think this is just about right for these kind of comments to come out because of the situation with so many contracts across the league that are now, essentially available for trade.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, if you're a coach, though, I mean, this is no different than like any job. Like, you're a cop, or like, you're working in the newsroom. We need more writers, we need more editors. We can't get our job done. We're out there on the street, and we don't have enough enforcement. Like, whatever it is, you're the leader. You want more. So Doc's looking at his team. He's not worried about patience. He's
that's another thing. That's another layer to this, right? Because it's another layer because at the end of the day, this is Ben Simmons. This is an all-star. This is an established player already. So it's like, I'm sure he's more than frustrated because this isn't one of his fourth or fifth best guys. This is one of his top guys, supposed to be a pillar.
I think it's mindless too.
So you're looking at management like, I need a guy. I don't have my guy, so get me another guy. Like, I get why coaches are frustrated here.
What can they? How could they possibly fire Doc Rivers, regardless of how the season ends? They took away one of his best players. They didn't give him anything. Like, you know what I mean? How can you even really gauge how good this Sixers team is? How do you even make moves in the offseason if Ben Simmons is
Listen, I don't think they've been helped by waiting. You had Karis LeVert and Malcolm Brogdon on the table, and you said no. What would this team look like that you saw out here tonight with Brogdon and LeVert?
You only get one shot to make this deal. If you accept low now, it depends.
Is that low?
It depends which window. I mean, Jesus, we're talking about LeVert is trash. We don't want to give it.
Right, exactly.
You didn't want to give
LeVert.
You didn't want to give a TPE for him. Yeah, exactly.
Why? I mean, LeVert. I never said that. LeVert is a really good player.
No, Bobby.
If he can stay in the damn court.
I love Brogdon. I'm talking more about Brogdon, first and foremost.
Well, no, you were drooling over Sabonis, and I'm like, Sabonis, I don't think is as realistic, if you're not putting one of the main guys on there. And I'm like, LeVert is someone that you could buy, for cheap, and see what happens there. Another scoring weapon for you.
Yeah, look, if you're the Sixers and you view this as a thing that has a 4-year shelf life. You're thinking somewhere within here, he either comes back and plays for us, or I'm able
Does it though? Embiid factor.
Or I'm able to rehabilitate his image to the point that I could trade him for something of value. If you just give it away now, it's like, okay, there's a little dip in the housing market. You freak out, you sell your house a year later, it's worth, twice what you sold it for. You're like, shoot, I should have waited. Like, you can't just panic and sell for nothing. So I get their stance. It is just frustrating if you're the Sixers or you're the coach. Like, I just want something, like you have to decide there's a 0.0% chance of this ever resolving itself over the course of 4 years to make a bad deal now. And that's why they're doing it. It's just, I wouldn't take anything at this point. You either convince him to play, even if it's a full year later, because that's better for you. Or
that is mindless. I think that's the dumbest thing you can do is try to get him to come back. Are you kidding me? Like, this is overdue. They should have traded him 2 years ago, and they're still trying to get him to come back. And I think that is what's holding this up, John. They want him to come back and join this team. You saw the media campaign that Doc put out there early this year and the apologies and this and that. They want him back, and that's not going to help them. It's not going to resolve anything. It's not going to win them a championship. They need to make the right deal right now that's going to help their team that's out there and not dream for Damian Lillard and these, like, phenomenal packages that Morey thinks he can pull off here. This is Morey's arrogance to me. Like, he thinks he can either get Simmons to come back, which isn't going to happen, or he's going to get Lillard or something crazy for him, which isn't going to happen either. So they're stuck, and they're going to lose this year without a piece in Simmons' place. They don't have a good enough team.
I don't know if it's arrogance. This is the job.
Yeah, I don't think it was arrogance, because I think at the end of the day, they try to get him back. But
you don't think there's decent packages out there?
No.
I don't.
I don't.
I think if they trade him today for Jeremy Grant, they could have him.
I don't know. I mean, that's the problem is you don't know which of these.
That's one of their main pieces right now,
Yeah.
And you have to remember, Bobby, Ben Simmons hasn't been making the best example for himself as a leader, to go into that situation.
You're starting from scratch in Detroit. You're a team that doesn't have many eyeballs on you. He'll be just doing everything there alongside Cade. That's the kind of deal I think Philly has to pull a trigger on here at some point. Maybe Sacramento. Do you get healed?
Sacramento has always been in my mind. Yeah, I think Sacramento is an option.
Sacramento would just be perfect for Simmons. Just fade off into oblivion and just never. That's where
Tristan
players like Simmons are destined for Sacramento.
Him and Tristan teaming up at the
yeah, there you go. Get the whole Kardashian crew together.
Yeah.
Before we
they'll have a new reality show. Them too.
Yeah, before we wrap, we do want to tell people again, one of our sponsors as well, LinkedIn Jobs here. If you want to hire people, okay, this is a great start for you. LinkedIn.com/garden. Post your first job for free. We use it at CLNS Media. It's great for small businesses to go out there and you find talent. And we actually will be posting a job for Celtics interns for the for the spring semester.
We're going to use our own
promo code for jobs.
Speaking of
hold on, Bobby, I'm soliciting interns.
That's how we found these
If any of you out there, you're any college students among you, or any college students who are looking to, and you could do this internship remotely or in person if you're in the Boston area, please apply within. We'll send
email
out
Josue.
Yeah.
Do not email Josue. No.
Yeah, email Josue.
Just tweet at someone.
Slide into Josue's DM.
Just DM Bobby or Josue, and they'll send it over my way.
I had someone DM me.
Bobby probably respond. I'm not gonna.
I had someone DM me a day or two ago about the CLNS internship. So there's names in the race.
We are going to do
much more approachable. There you go.
Live interviews. So the way we're going to hire this person, we're going to have the final 4 contestants. We're going to have them on separately, and they have to do a garden report, and we have to see how they do. And the commenters will end up voting for the intern.
That's not happening. No.
That would be unbelievable.
But as we say,
John, you have to yell at them. You're like, just rip
that
their
would be
ticket
unbelievable.
Internship.
See if you can go head to head with John. It's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah, exactly. Just rip their take apart and just go at it for 5 minutes.
It's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah. The commenters can be as mean as possible.
If the boy or girl doesn't break down, then they get it. They get the job.
Because you need to have thick skin to be the intern. You could have a lot of thick skin.
You got to crack jokes about all 4 of us,
which is fine. We talk about interns, and yes, no, it's unpaid internship for college students for credit, but there are paid positions here as well. And one of the more recent hires we've had over the course of the last year was a fan of this show, one of our great producers, Amit, who
what up,
just
Amit?
kind of came at us watching this show. So again, feel free to reach out.
You know what though? Unpaid internships are still sweet. Because if you can get credit, like, man, that just frees up your schedule. Like,
it's so
nicely.
great.
Nothing better than internship in like your junior, senior year of college. Oh man, that was great.
I did a 12 credit internship for a semester, which was basically just work.
Wow.
That's
a ton of credits.
Just worked 40 hours a week, and it was awesome.
That is a ton of credits.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I did two separate internships in college, and man, that was both great semesters.
Loved that because you're right; it frees up your schedule. You're like, this is a class, like that's so great.
Yeah. Oh, I just have to like log my duties today. Oh, okay. What did I do? I don't know. Sat around 3 hours.
Yeah.
And so they have to interview using Brockton Wi-Fi.
Oh
yeah.
God.
You do.
Otherwise, you don't get the job.
The jokes.
We have to see you're a struggling college kid, all right? So if your Brockton Wi-Fi is popping, we like that. We like that.
I want to shout out another former Celtics intern too, Tim Shields, getting married. I see on the timeline.
Yeah.
So shout out to him.
Oh,
another great guy.
Congratulations, Tim.
And shout out to Amit as well, of course.
Yep. Tim works on the Celtics postgame shows as well. He's one of our producers. Terrific talent. Really.
He's getting
great
married.
Guy. Also
see that? You can pick up chicks
as
with
an
this
internship.
Right? People think you're cool. It's awesome.
Yeah.
CLNS.
What is this show? Scotty wants to know. I don't know.
What is this show?
What is this? What is the point of this podcast? We usually conversation devolves oftentimes after losses.
45-minute mark.
Pickles and stuffing and comedy.
We gave you guys 45 good minutes about the game and like Simmons. So anything else after
you
that
can literally
is gravy.
Yeah. You can decide what I say. I have no original thoughts of my own. They're all written by my interns. They just hand me cards. They just hand me cards.
Yep.
They say this, it'll piss off Bobby. I'm like, all right. And I just do it.
Can a college dropout join? Yeah, sure, why not?
Sure.
I'm basically
I actually thought John and I were going to get into it more tonight over Brown. The way John was talking about in the last couple of days.
No, I just think it's not a criticism as much as an observation. He's rusty and his handle is like 2018.
Hey, what up, Megan?
What's up, Megan?
Megan's awesome too. She's
terrific intern. No, Bobby,
another intern. Another success story.
I'm not at all. I swear it's not a I'm not just being critical. I'm just observing. It's like 2018 Jalen handles. He's very loose with it. It looks more rust than anything, but he is doing that thing where he kind of just puts his head down and goes into nowhere land, which he wasn't doing as much. He was playing with his head up and a lot more control. So he's just looks sloppy. Looks like a guy who hasn't played a lot of basketball. That's all.
I think because he's breaking his game down to the basics of playmaking, like both these guys are. And to me, over the last 4 games here, you are starting to see a stretch of consistency from those two in terms of prioritizing their playmaking, especially between each other. Tatum making that extra pass from the corner to Brown to his left there, missed open 3 early. Brown getting lobs off to Rob throughout this week. I know Goodman reached out to me too and was like, Brown's terrible as a playmaker or as a dribbler, passer, whatever you want to call it. He's getting better. If you said over 4 games, Brown would average 4 assists, you take it because that's not something we've seen him.
Yeah, but those numbers don't tell the tale. He is not a playmaker by trade. Doesn't mean he is.
That's why they're developing it.
It does not mean he can't make plays from time to time. Of course he can. And sometimes he makes excellent plays, but for the most part, it's just not his thing. So again, 4 assists is fine, but it doesn't mean he's out there making a bunch of plays. That being said, he's been better since he came back. He's clearly looking to distribute more. Those guys clearly got spoken to by Ime, which is to say, in order for you to coexist, we got to see a ton more. Like exponentially more than what you normally do to get each other involved, play off one another, look for one another, make each other better. That's a big deal. It's obvious that he talked to those two because, again, we've been tracking the stats here. The amount that they're looking for each other now is 3 and 4 times higher than what it was prior to Brown's last injury stint. So
Did you see that play I sent in the group chat earlier where Tatum and Rob are screening for Brown? I think they call that horns, when Rob dives and Tatum kind of flares there and Brown gets in the lane and lobs it to Rob. You put those 3 guys in the same area playing off each other. That was the Warriors. You had Draymond Green in between there, the best defender in the world, and he couldn't stop that.
Yeah.
There's so many possibilities that you open up putting those 3 guys in the same location, screening and passing and playing off each other on one side of the floor. It makes me think they've turned a corner. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it makes me think that they have turned a corner offensively as a team and as players.
I truly believe Tatum has improved. I think Jalen is trying to. I think Jalen is making an effort right now to do so. But I actually do think Tatum is actually improving as a playmaker. In a noticeable way right now. So, kudos to him. That's my take. That's my take. Bobby won't give it to him. Jimmy won't give it to him.
From the beginning, since he came back from injury, that's been his MO.
But some people
Brown
don't think
Brown is trying.
Some people don't think it's a worthwhile endeavor. Here's all I'll say: for the people screaming for a point guard, and listen, I've done it too. Ball, Lowry actually second in the league in passes, by the way, total passes. They're not available. The Celtics can't get those guys. They've tried. They've failed. You're not doing better than Smart. Maybe you can downgrade from Smart to a pass-first guy who's a little more offensively oriented, but I think you get a worse player in that spot. Unless you go all in on a Lillard, and that probably costs you Brown. Smart, I think, is the best you're going to do at point guard. I don't think there's any way to upgrade at that spot right now, unless maybe you take a guy in the draft who hits. And, John, I know you were big on Maxey. I know we didn't see him there today, but he's really fallen off for Philly too. So that's another guy I look at. I'd rather have Smart right now than Maxey. I would.
That's what I mentioned earlier as a joke. We lost John.
We lost John. You can tell his response was very upset with what I just said, though.
We can't hear you,
look,
John.
Again, the Maxey wasn't Maxey versus Smart. The Maxey is the asset and what he could potentially become. You're talking about a guy who slid in year 2 and was like a starter and a contributor to a Philadelphia team, scoring 17, 18 a game. His shooting has dropped off considerably over the last 8 to 10 games. But this is still a guy whose arrow is pointing up. He's not a flawless player, and he's still not a knockdown shooter. But I mean, we're sitting here debating whether or not Aaron Nesmith can tie his shoes, fast enough to get on the court and play 3 minutes and friggin' foul 4 times. And Maxey's putting up 18 a game. So, I mean, the comparison there is definitely, more what I'm trying to make and more of like rolling the dice on something. If you're trying to make a deal and you're trying to bunch pieces together, you need that up and coming player in that.
But for Brown?
No, as we said, if you were the original trade I made, the original proposal I made was Brown and whatever else you needed, Richardson or Smart there for Simmons, Maxey. I threw Curry in there.
I love Curry. That's what really set me off on that trade.
But whatever.
He is awesome, huh? Think about how much money that guy's going to get when he hits free agency. He's only making like $7 million a year right now, doing that out there, just hitting everything.
Yeah,
doing that out there, yeah.
Doing that stuff out there.
He was balling out.
Guys, any final thoughts before we wrap it? We're back on Wednesday for Cleveland, and then on Christmas. That's
Imagine
right,
Seth
Christmas.
Curry. Not quite Steph Curry, but he's in the. You can talk about those two as a brother combo.
Yeah,
John. Final thoughts, Josue?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, let's keep an eye on the Celtics backcourt in this one. I think it's gonna be a tougher matchup than most people anticipate. You look at someone like Pritchard to see if that momentum carries over. I mean, we're talking about guys hitting shots here. Someone here has to do it, right? Whether it's Pritchard, Marcus, maybe he gets hot from behind the arc, but I want to see them extend or at least establish that outside shot a bit in this one against Cleveland. They were ice cold from behind the arc against Philly. So I think this is a good opportunity for them to sort of heat up a bit. You get a few days off after that, and then you go right into that Christmas matchup, over in at Milwaukee. Close out this 5-game homestand on a positive note. So we'll see. Yeah.
Jimmy's been fiddling with something for a while. I don't know. What's
and it's
going
like,
on.
was it squeaking? Did you guys hear like a squeak? I thought that was like the rats messing with Bobby or something. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah. I will say
that may have been my dryer.
Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley, Isaac Okoro on the COVID protocol for Cleveland. So they're then in the front court. That's normally an area where they can kill you. Mobley and Allen.
Mobley and Allen. That's why they had to bring in friggin' Cornette.
Oh, right.
They're down all their bigs, right?
You got to win this game. Garland's been awesome. I think if I had to pick a most improved player
he's been awesome
right now, it's probably Darius Garland. There's probably a couple other guys in the conversation, but he sticks out most to me. He's one of, I think I heard Perk call him the second best point guard in the East right now, and they're third in defense as a team. Most of that was from those big guys, so they're gonna miss that here.
He's a potential all-star right now. The way he's playing,
definitely.
Yeah.
That's
Allen's,
what I mean.
Allen's an all-star. Really, Evan Mobley's the rookie of the year now, I think, if you voted today. So something's happening in Cleveland. And for the first time ever without LeBron, they have a team. They're going to make the playoffs. I know Colin Sexton got hurt. I thought they were going to fall off after that. But they have just continued to be awesome. I think they're third in defense, as I said, right up there with Golden State and Utah. They are not an exciting team to watch, but you got Rubio, you got Garland. You basically have like a Knicks-style team.
Are the Celtics
the team out? Yeah. Bobby, do you think Cleveland rocks, or what do you think?
Yes, I love the jerseys that they're wearing too.
Are the Celtics exciting?
You didn't get the reference.
No. I mean, listen, the Cavs are exciting if you love basketball and a team that grinds down the game and just get some baskets here or there and does enough to win. They really do grind down the game to a halt defensively and just suck teams into the mud. But in terms of like just a casual fan watching with flash and guys shooting and scoring and stuff, they're not that exciting.
Yeah. Okay.
Jimmy, by the way,
hold on one second. Stop. Jimmy, say something.
Hi.
I'm just worried about you.
Hey,
yeah.
I'm listening. I Bobby break down the Cavs.
For the record,
no, I mean, you said final thoughts.
Sixth man of the year.
Give us something with Taco. Let me just throw out topics. Taco.
No, I mean, I don't have anything to say about the Cavs. I'll see how they
Jimmy don't talk about no Taco right now.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
he always wants to talk about
Taco. That still hurts me that they couldn't make it work here with Taco. That hurts me like it hurts you with Luke.
Oh yeah, that's your guy. I forgot. That's true.
Yeah, that hurts me like it hurts you with Luke, Bobby. So I'm hoping that Taco comes out and plays his game on Wednesday. As far as this game tonight, my take's a little different than Bobby's. I'm disappointed with it. I think this was a winnable game, clearly. I think, again, you had Tatum, you had Brown. If those are your two superstar guys, and you should want to take them against another depleted roster, and you should expect to win that game at home against a rival. I want to see this team start to beat good teams or better teams. I'm tired of beating up on the team. They don't beat up on anybody. I'm tired of them winning the games against the non-playoff teams and then coming up short against the teams that actually matter. So to me, this wasn't a good game. This wasn't a good loss or a silver lining. I'm not going to take that out. I know that they're shorthanded, but that's the state of the NBA right now. I mean, find me a team that isn't really. On any given night, you're not going to be playing with a full roster, so you better get used to it.
Fantasy team is screwed.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantasy basketball is completely screwed right now.
Oh, and fantasy football going in a similar direction.
Not
the
cool.
Playoffs.
Awful.
Whole lineup white. Done.
That's my take on this game.
Ever.
I'm on to Cleveland.
We're on to Cleveland.
They should beat the Cavs with those guys out.
We'll see. They shouldn't necessarily beat anyone. We've learned that this year, but
below 500 again.
John, what do you got?
Fringe playoff team.
I guess there's
final thoughts, John.
It's the same exact thing. Where which game was it?
Positivity.
Which game was it the other night that was like the moral victory one? The Golden State.
Golden State.
That's fine and good, but when you've got a chance to win. And so you just can't piss these away. Every single night you can make a series of, excuses. And it's
this
fine.
One, you needed this one more than
but it's fine. Like they're all valid. There's not. It's not like they're not valid. You're down. It's the third game in 4 nights. You're really, really shorthanded. You're one of the teams who's been affected the most by all of these. Oh, you lose another big right before the game with Rob Williams in a game that you're going against Embiid. You got to play Cantor 40 minutes. You won that battle in the sense that you got a good effort out of Cantor. That was pretty good.
Really, John? I'm surprised. I thought you were going to be upset about that 40 minutes.
I'm saying you had no choice, and you did it, and I wouldn't say you won. One is the wrong word. You survived. That's a win.
He didn't even follow out.
Playing Cantor that many minutes and hanging in there and being okay. And Embiid did a lot of his work outside. He wasn't killing him inside. So
that's what I said. Yeah.
Freaking knocking down one.
So when it gets down to it, and you got a 7-point lead, win the friggin' game. At that point, who didn't play and who's out and who's tired doesn't matter anymore. You're now in a position to win. You can't piss these games away, so just win it. There are no moral victories. Just got to find a way to close these things out. It's really, really frustrating to be there and shrug your shoulders and be like, they blew another one.
By the end of practice when they make that scenario, like you're supposed to win that scenario, right? When they put a certain time on the clock and like, all right, guys, down by 7, like the other team's not supposed to come back in that one. And I thought Philadelphia looked too comfortable doing it. It was like light work for them, putting up baskets.
This is a trend. We're talking going back to the end of the bubble, 2 seasons ago, carrying through all of last year with horrible late game execution, and getting your doors blown off late in games. And then just seeing it time and again this year of just getting friggin' wiped out, with these late runs, late in fourth quarters where you just literally stop doing everything and the other team just zooms by you. That's the worst thing to watch there. It's like, what did you
know who they needed tonight?
What did you even bother playing 44 minutes for,
You know who they needed
Bobby
tonight?
loves doing this. Luke Cornett. You already told us this.
That was number 1. Let me throw another name in there.
Okay.
Kemba Walker.
Okay, come on. I can't take this guy seriously anymore.
I'm liking that deal more and more. I want to see
Schroeder.
I want to see Schroeder flip for something that can help you.
I swear he's trolling.
Bobby needs some sleep. Bobby, what time you go to?
Kemba torched the Celtics on Saturday.
Yeah,
people think I have agendas.
That looked like a fun game to talk about after.
Any Kemba thoughts, Jimmy, before we get out of here?
This guy.
I can't believe
I'll say
he
this.
took that turn. Wow.
It was in my opinion, pretty damning for Tibbs to have to watch Kemba go off for 29 points. I mean, did you guys talk about how?
Oh my god! I want to go to bed. I don't want to talk about 2 games ago. No.
Jimmy wasn't here.
No, you weren't here.
I don't want to talk about it either. I just want to make sure that everyone knows how ridiculous, how bad Tibbs must feel and look.
Kemba was looking at him.
We discussed it.
I want to say this: it's too soon to it's kind of too soon to be staring at the standings. But if you do look at the Eastern Conference, the Celtics are right in the middle of 6 other teams on the fringe of making the playoffs.
But
they might not.
I don't want to know because they were 4 games back of first place before the Cali disaster. So
I know, but look at these are the games you got to win because right now you're 15 and 16. The 13th seeded Pacers are 13 and 18. You're not that far from there. You know what I mean? It's wide open in the East right now in terms of making the playoffs and not making the playoffs. All it takes is
the playoffs.
That's why this team frustrates.
Don't be so sure. Don't be so sure though.
I am certain. I will guarantee
so top heavy
it.
the way it was last year. It's this thing. I don't want to say it's wide open.
What do you mean by make the playoffs, Jimmy?
You might
get through the play-in round.
You might get to the play-in round is if you end up as a 9 and 10 seed. I guess does that mean you made the playoffs or you made the play-in?
I don't think you're gonna be a 9 or 10 seed. I think you're.
Why not? The Hornets are 9 right now. The Hornets are 16 and 16. They were the 9th seed going into this game. Now the Celtics have a worse record than that. Raptors are 14 and 15. They're the 10th seed. Hawks are 14 and 15. They're the 11th seed. So you're right on the fringe of it. These are all good teams that you're around. You're banking on the Wizards to keep sliding, probably, right? So that's one thing.
That's why you got a team like the Cleveland Cavaliers, top 3 right now, or top 4.
Right.
Atlanta's a wild card, huh? I mean, Atlanta's just been awful.
We're just going to talk about every team in the East. We're going to do
I'm just making the point that
I'm just trying to,
these are games that you want to win.
We're going to do a playoff preview. Okay.
My God. All right, Bobby, why don't you scout friggin' Detroit? Tell me about the Pistons.
We're talking about where the Celtics are going to land.
Pistons and Magic are the only 2 teams.
Did the Toronto Raptors creep up, guys? What's going to happen?
They're right there.
Forget the other teams. I was skeptical the Celtics. I was skeptical the Celtics were going to make that top 6 and avoid the play-in. I'm still there, but I think you're like 7-8 as you were last year. I think you're going to get home court in that play-in.
Is there a huge difference between 7-8 and 9-10? Can you comfortably predict they're falling?
Because they don't even play well at home.
That could be a 1 or 2 game difference. I know. Come on.
Look at last year. You benefited by being home in that game.
I know. It just doesn't matter. I'm just saying they're somewhere in that 7 to 10 range, more likely than not.
And you could sneak up to 6.
And they're fighting for it. And of course, you can sneak up. But anyway,
I think you're closer to
some likely first-round matchups. What do you think?
You're closer to 6.
We're gonna Josue's messing with me right now.
You're closer to 6.
We're done.
Hypothetically,
we're done.
I'm ready to
Bobby,
go.
no more. I'm gonna mute it. We're done. We're not going to go through every hypothetical scenario for the playoffs here.
Jimmy brought it up.
Let me just say my final thoughts from this. My final thoughts here. No, I'm just kidding.
Bye. Thank you for watching, everybody. We will see you guys on Wednesday. Good night. 2 days. 2 days. We'll go through the whole playoffs in 2 days, I promise.